Spotify has finally rolled out lossless audio after years of what felt like empty promises and tons of online speculation. And in a big surprise, there's no additional cost as long as you already pay for premium, otherwise known as ad-free listening. But is Spotify really taking a big step up on their competitors, or is this kinda just marketing hype? Well, let's dig into it. I'm Ian from Tone Hi-Fi, and today we're going to talk about lossless streaming, what lossy streaming is, Spotify's implementation, and what it all means for you in the real world. Let's try and keep this short. Lossless audio technically means that there's no data lost from a finished master that a music producer would put together to the format that you're actually listening to. Taking a few big steps back, audio files, not audio files, have been compressed basically since the time that they've existed. In the early days of MP3 players and actually being able to take music with you in your pocket, we've been trying to compress audio as much as possible in order to save space. If you're a Gen Zer, it might be hard to imagine, but there was a time when having 4 or even 8 gigabytes on a portable device made you a real hotshot. So the smaller you could make music files, the more music you could take with you. But that doesn't mean that we've all been listening to super compressed, garbage tier content for all this time. There have been a lot of advancements, and not all lossy files are created equal. But in short, all compressed or lossy versions of audio formats are going to remove some details and try and use specialized algorithms to save space while trying to keep a good balance of quality. It's far from a settled issue, but at least in theory, it is better audio quality that you're feeding into your ears. Now, where things get even more confusing is that lossless doesn't just mean one thing. There are all sorts of other different formats that can be used and different levels of qualities associated with them as well. Now, Spotify's lossless implementation uses FLAC files that are up to 24-bit and 44.1 kilohertz. That's slightly above CD quality, but it's not technically high res as some companies will call it, like 96 or 192 kilohertz. Now, Apple Music uses 24-bit up to 192 kilohertz ALAC. They also have spatial audio implementation along with Dolby Atmos. And depending on who you talk to, they're either a complete game changer for music or they're just kind of a fun gimmick. Now, Tidal's base tier starts at 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz audio formats, but if you pay for the extra premium tier, you can get up to 24-bit 192 kilohertz FLAC or MQA files. Which is the highest available. So Spotify kind of comes in the middle here with 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz, no ultra high resolution, and no spatial audio format of any kind. So no Dolby Atmos, no spatial audio that works with AirPods and things like that. The funny thing is a lot of this kind of reminds me of something that Apple would do. Like back in the day, wireless charging was on Android phones for years and years and years, and then finally Apple decided to put it on their iPhones and everybody started praising them like crazy. You've been able to listen to lossless audio for a long time, but at the end of the day, I'm an iPhone guy now, and I get it. It's nice that the most popular option for people now has better audio quality available. Many Spotify uploads have been on their platform for several years, and given that they had this implementation, there's no real guarantee that stuff that you're listening to now is actually using a high quality lossless format. So in some ways, this is Spotify inviting artists to re-upload their music in better quality files now that they support those options. So at least right now, it's not necessarily just the file type and support that Spotify provides, it's which version of the song that you're hearing that has been uploaded for Spotify usage. It's also hard to talk about Spotify without bringing up that there's kind of a lot of drama going on around them, specifically around putting a ton of money into developing AI-powered military drones. One of my favorite artists of all time, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, has actually pulled almost all of their content off of Spotify over disagreements. All of these artists have all either previously or currently have their music pulled from Spotify due to similar or different controversies. These issues are way too deep for me to get into on a channel that is specifically devoted to audio, but they are real considerations for some people. Honestly, King Gizzard being one of my favorite bands makes it hard to want to stay on Spotify. And there's a part of me that feels like they did this and they didn't ask for an additional cost because they were concerned about some consumers leaving the platform. But it's also really hard for me to lose all of the playlists and all of the liked songs that I've accumulated over the past more than 10 years of using Spotify. All that I can really say is that whether you choose to pay for Spotify or if you get them free with your mobile carrier like I do, using them is a very personal choice. But now there are some good reasons to leave and good reasons to stay with them. So with all that said, is Spotify's lossless audio mode worth using? I mean, absolutely. It's better quality audio for no additional cost, and that's really a win for everybody. But you should also be aware, if you are using Bluetooth earbuds, especially AirPods, are not able to play lossless audio, with the exception of the AirPods Max, which can technically play lossless audio if they're plugged in with a cable, which is interesting. If you want really good audio quality, you should really just start using wired in-ear monitors like these. I know they're not as convenient as Bluetooth, but they sound a whole heck of a lot better, and you might be surprised about how cheap they are. If you're more into keeping your ears clear and listening to speakers that are in a room, I've got tons of content for you there. Check out some of my videos that I've made about setting up your own hi-fi setup at home and how to get the best out of it. And if you're in the market for a new set of bookshelf speakers, check out my website, Tone Hi-Fi, where I build handcrafted passive bookshelf speakers right here in the USA. I'm Ian from Tone Hi-Fi, and I'll see you soon.